Welcome back to my top 100 games so far. We are now into the top 30, and this is even more exciting because it's just 3 episodes left. It's been a fun ride. Alright, let's just jump in and get going. Number 30, World's Fair 1893. Now, this is a fairly recent release, and a lot of people probably haven't heard of it, but it's a game with cube placement, set collection of cards, and then the regions you're in for control let you trade cards for tiles, and you need diversity of tiles because if you have 4 different tiles, that's worth 10 points, 5 different tiles, that's 15, 3, 6, 2, 3, 1, 1. So it's all about getting sets of the different things rather than collecting a whole bunch of one color. And there's different characters that will give you bonuses, let you place twice or in adjacent areas or move extra things. But this game has a really neat timing mechanism with the midway tickets. They're worth points, but they also advance the round, and you play 3 rounds. And that's it. So this game takes about an hour. It's really cool. It's unlike anything that I've played. I know that there's games like this out there, but to me, it feels different. And anytime there's different, I want to reward that. And I really like what World's Fair has to offer. Even when there's a frustrating game of it, I still enjoy playing it. So to me, that's the mark of a good game and why it's number 30 on my list. Number 29, Kingsburg. Now this is a dice placement game, and I like worker placement, but I love dice placement. I love being able to roll dice, not really know what they are, and then have to do something with that. It gives you an unpredictability to the mechanic, and the upgrades you can build alter what you're doing and let you improve your odds or manipulate the odds, and that's always a good thing. But you still have to depend on those dice, and the dice can mess you up sometimes or really reward you sometimes, and you just have to go with that. But Kingsburg gives you enough options to always make something out of whatever you roll, and that is a really good game. I want to keep playing it. I don't own it, so I'm not always in control of being able to play it, but it's out there. I do have to say that I think that the expansion for Kingsburg is a must-have, that it changes the game so much. The base game is kind of the same every time. Everyone has the same upgrades, everyone gets the same military bonus, so it's just comes down to, do you do the certain things in the right order? But the expansion offers up enough variety, and it really gives you opportunities to go off in different directions and explore different paths to victory. So, Kingsburg with To Forge a Realm expansion, that's my number 29. Number 28, Star Trek Fleet Captains. Now, obviously, I'm a Star Trek junkie, but this game, this game. I built a custom board for this game, and I feel like I'm playing a season of Star Trek, sometimes even 2 or 3 seasons, because it's my fleet against your fleet, and sometimes we have a 3rd player, or maybe a 4th player, and it's all this dynamics. I have the base game with the Romulan expansion. I'm considering getting the Dominion expansion. I don't get to play this game very much, so I don't know that I want to invest another like $40, $50 into an expansion for a game that I don't get to play. But I want to. The models, but it was my first forte into painting, and I'm really glad I did it because I got to paint ships that didn't look great, but I got to make them better. And that was always worthwhile. But this game has a ton of rules, but once you get through them, they kind of go, oh, yeah, I see why that works. I understand in a Star Trek sense. Yeah, it makes sense for things going on. I'm sorry, I'm filming this on the 4th of July and people are exuberant with their fireworks even at midnight. But yeah, Star Trek Fleet Captains, really fun game, embodies the spirit of Star Trek, lets you do a ton with it, and kind of what more do you want in a Star Trek game? So that's my number 28. Number 27, King of Tokyo and King of New York. I put these two together because they feel so very similar. I know that they have some different applications in their mechanics. If I have to choose, I probably like King of New York a little bit better. But King of Tokyo is so easy to teach people. King of New York is a little more gamery. So it's kind of a dichotomy there. And the two of them work together. And I know that the new expansion that's coming out later this year is going to kind of bridge them and let them work together. At least the monsters can go back and forth. And that's what I'm looking for. That is going to be a great thing. So, for a game that uses the Yahtzee mechanic for dice rolling and says, hey, roll 3 times, take your best roll, go, fight, and go until you either score 20 points or you're the last monster standing, and you win. It's simple, but it's fun. People get into the theme of, hey, I'm a monster, bash, bash, hit, hit, win. It works. So, King of Tokyo, King of New York, it's up there. One game system. Number 26, Alhambra. Now, I have the big box here, so I have more expansions than I possibly know what to do with in Alhambra. But the base game, as it is, really enjoyable game. You are using money, building buildings, getting points for having the most of different colors of buildings. Perfectly simple. Expansions add in a bunch of different things to do. Some give you change, some give you a new currency, some give you all kinds of weird things. But Alhambra is another game that's kind of up there in the gateway game series. Ticket to Ride, Carcassonne, Catan. Alhambra is like that 4th game that should be thought of right in there. Maybe even King of Tokyo and Dominion. Kind of like a core 6 of gateway games. And it works really well. It's a game that my family will play. And when I throw that out, you know that it's pretty simple and that it's a fun game. So, there you go. Alhambra, worthwhile, especially if you like tiles and kind of some spatial reasoning. There you go. Number 25, Shadows over Camelot. Now, we are going to a little old school co-op game with a trader. And, yeah, played this a bunch in college. And maybe a little too much. But, the things you can do with this game. And the different ways you have to get swords, which you need in order to win. It's a ton of potential. You know, it's like, do you go after the Grail? Do you go after Excalibur? But you don't want to get those too soon, because once you do, then you get a whole bunch of catapults, and it's really hard to fight catapults. And if you have too many catapults, you're going to lose. Do you get the armor? Do you fight the Black Knight? Do you go after the Picts and Saxons? I'm a big fan of Arthurian lore. You know, King Arthur, Merlin, that whole thing. And this game fits in really well. I love the co-op nature. The trader is messy, so there's actually ways you can play without a trader card. You just need to kind of adjust the game, make it harder. You know, maybe make it so you have to get 9 white swords or even 10 white swords in order to win. I'd say 9 rather than 10. But, you know, it's there, and Shadows is one of those really good co-op games if you're in the mood for a long game and you are good to sit down and really hash it out and maybe get into the theme a little bit. Uh, and it's better played at a round table because Knights of the Round Table. All right, moving on. Number 24, Formula D. I'm a huge Formula One fan. So, open wheel racing is a passion of mine. I actually understand where these tracks are coming from. Monaco, even Austin, Sochi. Some of the weird tracks. I get them. This game, when you put in the hard rules, the advanced rules, with tire wear, gearbox wear, engine wear, braking, why you have to stop in the corners a certain amount of times, it gets really tough. But it's a pretty accurate racing game. What gets challenging is that you get people who get very impatient, and so they just overshoot the corner. They go into a two-stop corner in fifth gear, and they just blow it because they're done. Uh, it makes for good fun at the end of the day. I have had comeback victories in this game. I have also lost leads. I have lost a lead in the last corner and gone from first to third. I've also crashed out of plenty of race. But Formula D is a really good racing game. For me, it's my favorite racing game. And I'd be hard-pressed to find something that takes its place, just because of how well it integrates with the actual Formula One racing that it has. I'm sure that there are better racing games out there, but for me, this is my game of choice. So, that's Formula D. Number 23, Sheriff of Nottingham. I swear, Sheriff, it's just 3 chickens. That's all. Perfectly legal chickens. Don't believe me? Have a coin. That's it. Okay, fine, 2 coins. 3 coins. We're good, right? Yeah, no, nope. Sheriff of Nottingham. How well do you know your friends? How well do you trust your friends? And I never knew that you could lie so many times and get away with it. You know who you are. Alright, Sheriff of Nottingham. A game that I have grown to love. And a game that I don't pretend to be great at. But a game that I definitely do enjoy. And a game that I've gotten reasonably good at getting some creative trades out and some bribes and some good deals. So if nothing else, I will take credit for being a little innovative, at least amongst my group. So from that standpoint, I enjoy it. Number 22, Lanternes, the Harvest Festival. So this is a very simple tile placement game. You place a tile. If you match, you get that color card. And then you get the color facing you, and everyone else gets the color facing them. So it's a max 4-player game. I've only played it as a 3-player game. I really want to try it as a 4, because then you're always getting something and giving something to somebody. What do you do with those color cards? Well, you trade them in. There's 7 different colors, so there's 3 options of trading in. 1 of each color, 3 pairs, or 4 of a kind. And there's decreasing amounts based on how early you trade in. So the earlier you trade in the game, the more points you get. And you keep going until all the tiles get played, and whoever has the most points wins. It's pretty simple, but the game works well, figuring out where to place your tiles, what to match, what to give other people. That is the big key. And Lanterns is a tricky game, but one that I really, really enjoy, and one that I continue to find challenge in every time that I play, because it is that idea of, I have to give you something. I don't want to give you anything, but I must give you something. So what do I do? And the better you figure that out and give them what they don't want, the better off you are. All right, final one on this list. Number 21, Escape, the Curse of the Temple. 10 minutes. Get out. It's tight, it's tense, and the soundtrack only makes it better. Rolling dice. Co-op game. It's done well. There's not much alpha gaming when you have 10 minutes and you are frantically rolling your own dice. You don't have much time to look up and pay attention to what everybody else has. It's, I'm stuck, I need gold, help me out, help me out. No, really, help me out. You're going into rooms, you're rolling symbols to get gems into these rooms, and the expansions, even the options in the base box, change up the game. So there's easy mode, there's harder mode with curses, there's an expansion that has tiles that disappear and go back into the box, so now you have gaps in your floor. And that makes it really hard, because now a room path that was open can be closed off. And Escape, tough game, but a ton of fun. And if you're good for 10 minutes of tension and you want a good challenge, Escape, Curse of the Temple gives it to you. I can't recommend a 10-minute game any higher than this. So check it out, give it a chance, play it more. There you go. Alright guys, thank you for watching part 8. Wow, part 8. We're coming down to the end. We got 20 games left. And yeah, it's getting right down to it. So thank you so much, and until tomorrow, we'll see you around the shipyard. Take care, guys.